Now we're gonna go through the 5M series. So the 5M series is gonna have 5 different models, also broke between the 3-cylinder and the 4-cylinder. We're gonna start with the 5075M. That's gonna be the smallest model in this series, so it's what we have represented here. And it's gonna be your only 3-cylinder option within this series. The rest of them are gonna be 4-cylinder. So you have the 5095, the 100, the 115, and the 125. So 5 different horsepower options, ranging from 75 to 125 horsepower. So again, when you're thinking about that utility tractor standpoint, really what's going to separate the M's from the E's is just the spec level. So you see that M there, that's going to represent, we've got more premium options, some different capabilities. We're actually going to talk a little bit more about technology into utility tractor, which might seem a little different, but these tractors you can even get auto track on. So if you are in maybe a larger haying application, or you're just doing some mowing out in the wide open and you want that capability of the auto tracking, that's an option you can now get into the 5M. So that's really exciting to see some of those technology aspects from the larger row crop tractors and mid-size tractors coming down into the utility tractor lineup. All right, so we talked a little bit about our different model options. Again, with the modeling numbers the same, so we have the 5 representing the family. The numbers are going to represent the rated engine horsepower, and your letter is going to represent your spec level. So now we've got to lay of the land a little bit on this series. We're going to hop up in the cab and talk a little bit more about the operator station. All right, let's take a tour of the cab here. So you do have 2 cab options. You have your standard and your premium. We are sitting in the premium cab, so we'll point out some of those different features when we get there. Starting over here on the left-hand side, we're gonna have our access to our fuse panel over here. So our automotive style fuses. So it's more of a serviceability standpoint, but nice to know where those are located if needed. Some storage, windows that pop open, which is nice to add maybe a little extra air on a nice day. Nice big doorway to get in and out of. Let's go ahead and take a look here at our steering column. We're going to start down here on the floor. So our clutch pedal on the left, pretty standard, brakes on the right. Like you'll see on a lot of our other tractors, is we do have the capability of locking together our brakes or flipping them apart, and you can use them as individual turning brakes if needed. But really for safety measures, unless you really are needing that extra maneuverability in those tight turns, keep those locked together. Taking a look straight forward at our steering column, it is tilt and telescoping. So our tilt, try to showcase that as best I can. Telescoping as well. So lots of different adjustments to be able to find that comfortable operating position. The seat, you'll notice it is a swivel seat. I'm swiveling back and forth. I'm not just moving the camera, I promise. And then you have forward and backwards adjustments. And with it being the air suspension seat, you can also add and take away air in that. So way to bring it up and down. Definitely able to find a comfortable operating position no matter your size. Okay, so looking here straight forward, we have our power reverser, which we'll get into our transmissions here in just a little bit, but definitely makes it nice and easy, similar to our 5E power reverser transmissions as far as the operation goes. And like I said, we'll get here in that in just a little minute. Looking at our dash, I'll go ahead and key on a little bit. You'll see all of our indicator lights that are available, and or warning lights. And then you'll see our radio that works nice as well. So we have LED warning lights and indicator lights, and then we have an LCD panel there in the middle that's going to show us our gears, our gear that we're in, and our speeds, our hours. And then some of them are traditional things that you'll see here will be our engine speed, our fuel level, and then some, our temperature as well. So nice, bright, clean dash. Really appreciate that. Various things such as turn signal, horn, Over here on the right, it's going to be our lights, flashers, beacon, field lights, work lights. Even a little bit further down, you'll see our windshield wipers. And then we have our different speeds there. This is going to have to do with our region or our after treatment for emission standards. So I typically say if there's an auto mode, let it be auto. Let it do the thinking for you. So that's our just here of our steering column. So we'll continue on over to our right. Down here at the bottom, you'll see our foot throttle. So loader work being a main application for these tractors. That's super nice and handy when you need to maybe get the little extra speed going into a pile. Mowing as well, maybe coming around a tree or whatnot. You'll want that speed adjustment there. And then we have our loader joystick. So we have our locked and unlocked positions. So now it's unlocked. If we were to have a loader there, we'd be able to control that. Our decal, I know it's a little bright in here, but hopefully you can see some of the controls there. So in case you forget. And then looking over to our right-hand console, we have our rear SCVs. So it comes equipped here with the two. A third optional, as you can see. So our extend and retract. We do have an more of an electronic style hitch control. So instead of the manual that we saw on the 5E over here, here we can do basically, set depth and raise or lower to that, lower to that depth and then raise, or you can do a manual as well here. MFWD engagement, so we do have auto capabilities there, continuously on or not on at all. Here we have our rear PTO, and so same with the 5E, we'll want to push this to just engage in general. And then we have our 540E option here, so that's economy. So it helps your engine speed rate most efficiently as it can with its PTO needed speed based off your application. So you'll be able to pick which one you want there, and then your actual engagement here. Here you're going to see this cutout for a front PTO. So again, these size of tractors would be ideal for maybe some commercial snow removal. So if you have a snow blower that needs a PTO or whatnot, that would be where you would access that as well. And then rotating back, we have some additional hitch settings back here. And then some different plugs for USB or aux and some power capabilities. Your rear windshield is an option there too. You've got some other power and implement connectors here in the back. Again, with this premium cab, you have your radio. I did not set that station, but can't go wrong with classical, I suppose. Visibility is a big deal in these tractors, right? Especially when you're doing a lot of loader work. So big, tall windshield. So really being able to see the full range of that loader boom. So you do have then the panorama window here. So it's just a manual. Push back. There we go. All right, so you're really able to see that full cycle of your loader. And plus, when it's just a nice sunny day like today, you want to let some sun in. And maybe if it's too sunny, you want a little window shade, but you're still not really impeding that visibility because you can still see through it rather nicely. So that's a nice, more premium option here in this premium cab. Creature comforts, you got your heating and air vents all around, nice speakers. So again, if you wanted to jam out to that classical music, you have that option, your HVACs and stuff over here. All right, I did not leave the transmissions out. I just wanted to take a minute here to highlight some of the different transmission offerings available here in the 5Ms, because you do have some different options when it comes to it. You're going to get into a little bit more premium transmission, so not quite as manual. You are going to have some auto shifting available per se. So what's going to come base standard in all of the models, except for the 5125M, is going to be the 1616 power reverser. So 4 ranges, 4 speeds with your power reverser. So pretty standard. Then we're going to move up into our power quad though. So power quad plus. So that's going to be your 1616 as well. And that's going to be base in all models except for the 5075M, which is what we're sitting in here now. A neat option available that's unique to the 5Ms is going to be the Power 8 transmission. And with this Power 8 transmission, it's going to be a 3216. So 32 forward, 16 reverse transmission. And it is an option on all units except for the smallest 5075M. So you would need to be in one of the 4-cylinder options to make that happen. But essentially it is a 4 manual range transmission, but it has 8 gears that you can electronically shift through. And what's neat about that electronically being able to shift through is showcased right here on your gear shifter. So this little button right here is going to be essentially like clutching. And so that's going to allow you to, instead of having to manually foot clutch in between gear changes or speed changes, you can push this and that's going to enable you to shift through your speeds a bit more easier. So actually this transmission that we are sitting in here right now is the 3216 power reverser high-low. And what it means by that is high-low is we have our rabbit and we have our turtle button right here. So basically each 4 of these speeds has a high-low in each one. So it's just adding, basically doubling your forward speeds. So again, you have your power reverser 1616 available. You have your power reverser high-low, which is the 3216. Then we're getting into our power quad plus 1616. That's available. 4 manual ranges with 4 gears electronically shifted. So you have that electronic shift button, which is nice. And then your Power 8. So, and that Power 8 even comes with a creeper option. So if you're needing that real slow speed capability, then that could be an option for you there. All right, just to talk you through a little bit about this transmission operation. Again, this is going to be the 3216 power reverser transmission. Similar with our 5E, except our main difference is to shift between our gears or our speeds. We're going to use this electronic declutch button right here. So we don't have to manually put in our foot clutch every time we change speeds. So everything is sitting in neutral right now. My gear shifter is in neutral. My range shifter back here is in neutral. We have A, B, C, and D in our ranges, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in our speeds to give you a little idea of our H pattern in our range and our gear pattern. And we do have our power reverser, so forward and reverse and then neutral. So to go ahead and start with, I'm going to go ahead and select my range, which we're going to go ahead and start in B and then 1. So that's all where I want it to be. Now again, I declutched, or I took my foot off the clutch pedal. I'm still sitting in neutral. I've got a big N right here on my screen, and I'm just going to go into forward as soon as I put my power reverser forward. So I'm idling, so real low idle. I'm going to give it a little bit of juice, just so it's not much of a pull on the tractor when I hit forward. And I am currently in high, which is this rabbit and turtle button right here again on my gear shifter. So rabbit is in high. I'm running about 2.1, and as soon as I put it down into the turtle, I knocked it down to about 1.7. So if you're really trying to dial in that speed, wanting maybe consistent bailing as you're following that windrow or whatever that may be, you can utilize that feature, which is super nice. So the high-low, let's say I want to go ahead and change my gears. I want to go up to B2. All I have to do is push this declutch button, bring it down to 2, and synchronized on the go. And then click up my high. It gave me about another half mile per hour there. Again, with this power reverser, fully synchronized, which is handy. So if I want to go into reverse, I'm not going to shift gears. I'm literally just going to put it into reverse, nice and smooth, and then back up into forward. nice and smooth again. But that pretty much sums up our cab tour. So now that we've seen it from the inside, let's take a little bit more look around the outside of the tractor and talk a little bit more about applications. Now we've taken a nice look inside the cab. I do want to point out that there are open operator station options available on the 3 smaller models, and then as well some two-wheel drive options available as well. So really think about what your needs are in your operation and understand whether that cab and or MFWD or the two-wheel drive is the better fit for you. And then cost-wise could save you some money as well. So let's go ahead and take a look here on the back side of the tractor and talk a little bit about what's going on back here. So throughout the series, it is a Cat 2, but it can be convertible to Cat 1 hitch if needed. It's going to come standard with your two rear SCVs that we saw the controls for inside the cab already. We're going to have our PTO and your 540E is an option. That's what we had the additional PTO knob there in the back, or inside the cab, excuse me. So really can fit whatever your PTO needs are. Again, these tractors are big time haying tractors, mowing tractors. So we want to be as efficient as we possibly can, converting that power to that implement. We also do have our hitch control, external hitch control back here. So that is a neat feature when you're hooking up an implement. If you just need to raise and lower just a little bit, just to get it closer to your implement, you can do that without hopping in and out of the cab so much. So fairly self-explanatory, easy to use hitch and PTO and SCVs here in the rear. We're going to come along to this side, and since this is a loader tractor, loader ready tractor, you are going to see your mid SCVs down here at the bottom of your loader frame. So that's where those would all be hooked in if we were to have our loader on this. And we are compatible with the 5R loader series with our 5M series tractors. So just depending on the size will depend on which one of those loaders fits your need the best as well. You do have a right-hand door, which on these utility tractors, you can squeeze in and out of there, but sometimes that's nice just to be able to hand things off or hop in and out of the other side if needed. All right, we're going to go ahead and pop the hood on the tractor here. Again, we have our 3-cylinder and 4-cylinder options. Final Tier 4, depending on the model, kind of showcases the after treatment approach. So it's a combination of various things, be it the diesel oxidation chamber, be it your diesel particulate filter or your SCR. They all kind of use some different combinations in order to meet those emission standards, but they do all meet those emission standards. But really want to point out here, just basic serviceability, some of your filter checks, things like that. Your battery right up here in the front, which is nice and accessible if needed there. Your air filter here. So I want to highlight some of the maintenance here on the cooling package. So you loosen up this wing nut. This will actually rotate out nice and easy. So good accessibility to blow this out, to clean this out. And then you also have this that'll slide out as well. So not only is it accessible, easy to maintain, but really is fairly efficient for the engine because it's going to really serve as a lot of different checks or filters here to keep unwanted debris out of your engine chamber. So we tighten that back down. We're going to see our coolant fill right up here on the top. Again, easy and accessible to get to. So a really well-designed engine compartment. I did forget to showcase the oil dipstick there in the back. It's highlighted with a yellow dipstick there on the back to the left side. So that's, again, just very accessible and very easy. I cannot preface enough, utilize that Tractor Plus app. It's going to be your main resource to have your operator's manual that walks you through all those service intervals, basic operations of your tractor, basic setups of your tractor, and then it also gets you in touch with your local dealer as well, as far as ordering parts, scheduling maintenance, things like that. So it is your cheat sheet if you don't want to go old school and open up that operator's manual. So always keep that in mind. But in general, the 5M tractor, what's neat about it is just some of the technology that's been put into place. It is your entry level into guidance if you want. You can get them auto track ready, and it's integrated into your LCD screen there on your dash as well. You have some different telematics connectivity opportunities, be it through apps through your phone, to really stay in tune with what your tractor's doing, just its health-wise, how it's operating, how it's performing, and then also just even some of your basic applications that you're doing as well. And then you really saw inside that premium cab that it's pretty comfortable. So they're bringing a lot of neat features down from the row crop tractors to really make this a neat tractor that's really utilized for lots of different applications, and really bringing down some of those more premium options. So that pretty much sums up our 5M series. Again, anywhere from a 75 horsepower tractor like you're seeing here up to 125 horsepower tractor. And then really is the 5 family and all with that utility tractor, very versatile, kind of in a more compact still frame size. So the maneuverability is still really good with these tractors in those tight spaces. But again, it's going to make your haying operations, your mowing operations, livestock, equine, material moving, snow blowing, whatever that may be, a really, really great tractor. So I encourage you to go either check them out online via AmericanImplement.com, JohnDeere.com, check out that Tractor Plus app, and we really appreciate you hanging out with us and learning about the 5 family of John Deere tractors.